General Science for class 5th. Today we'll start lesson 7, Interdependence of plants and animals. Interdependence of plants and animals. So in this lesson we will study that how plants and animals are interdependent. So the key concepts of the lesson are plants as producers and animals as consumers. Plants as producers and animals as consumers. Simple food chain. Scavengers and decomposers. Causes of imbalance in nature due to hunting, forest fire. So let's start our lesson. You know, children, that things around us make up our environment. Things around us make up our environment. What things you find around you? Like you, every day you see sun, houses, buildings, trees, plants. So all that things which are present around you, that makes your environment. Our environment includes elements that can be broadly divided into two groups, living and non-living. Our environment includes elements that can be broadly divided into two groups, living and non-living. You know, children, living things are those that can reproduce. Living things can reproduce, but non-living things cannot reproduce. Okay, living things are can breathe. Living things can breathe, but non-living things cannot breathe. So that are the main examples of living and non-living things. Living things such as animals, then plants, they all are living things. We are living things. But non-living things like air, water, furniture, that all are non-living things. So I think you understood the difference between living things and non-living things. Now here you can see plants and animals and microorganisms form the living elements of our environment. As I have given you example, with this picture also you can see that animals, plants and microorganisms which like bacteria, fungi, these all are microorganisms and they all reproduce. So they all are living elements of our environment. Whereas the sunlight, wind, water, rain, soil, things such as air, water, soil, rock and minerals, sunlight and warmth form the non-living elements of our environment. They all are non-living elements of the environment. So, living things depend on other living and non-living things. Living things depend on other living and non-living things in the environment for their survival. Like we are living things, isn't it? We are living things. We depend on water. We depend on plant. If plant will not be there, we will not get green vegetables. If water will not be there, the plant cannot grow. If soil is not there, it is not possible to plant to grow. So we need oxygen also. Oxygen we get from plant. Okay. Then fish is there. That is the animal, that is living thing. It needs oxygen. Then carbon dioxide is required. Sunlight is there. So without sunlight we can survive. Plants cannot survive. We and plants are living things. So this is a cycle. This is the cycle that sunlight, then carbon dioxide, then fish, oxygen, plant, soil, water. We all are interdependent. We all are interdependent. In the absence of any one thing, it is not easy to survive. That's why we say living things depend on other living and non-living things in the environment for their survival. Living things require non-living things such as air, water, soil, sunlight and warmth. Now next we have living things need air. Living things need air. As I have told that we are living things, our plants are living things, isn't it? Our animals are living things. So all plants and animals breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. All plants and animals breathe in. We take in oxygen and take out carbon dioxide. Plants use carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. Whereas plants use carbon dioxide and they give us oxygen during photosynthesis. So that's why we can say living things need air. Now living things need water. Plants and animals need water to carry out different processes in their life. Plants and animals need water to carry out different processes in their life. Like plants need water to grow, animals need water to drink, we also need water to drink. So that is necessary to grow. Okay. Digestion of food, transport of nutrients in the body and exertion of waste material from the body cannot take place without water. You know, without water it is not, we cannot digest our food, we cannot transport of nutrients in the body, and exertion of waste material will not from the body cannot take place. These all things will not happen, so we won't be able to survive. This way the roots of a plants, now about the plants, the roots of a plants can absorb minerals only when the minerals are dissolved in water. So plant also cannot survive without water, because a plant need water to dissolve the minerals in the plant. If minerals will not be there, so plant will not grow. Next is living things need soil. Living things need soil. Plants need soil to grow. You know, plants need soil to grow. Soil holds plant and trees in their place, and soil holds the plant and trees straight. Without soil, where the plant will be? There will be no place. No, something should be there to hold it. So roots of a plant absorb mineral and water from the soil, and roots of plants take mineral and water from the soil. Soil is also home to many animals. Rats, moles and rabbits make burrows in the soil and use them as home. Some other living things that live in the soil are earthworms, snails, centipedes, millipedes and microorganisms such as fungi and bacteria. So you have studied here that plants and animals both require soil, because some animals they live in soil and they make their holes in the soil, such as rats, moles and rabbits. Now living things need sunlight. Sunlight is the basic requirements of plants for photosynthesis. If sunlight will not be there, plant will not be able to make photosynthesis, the food making activity. And if photosynthesis will not be there, the plant won't be able to make his food. So all animals, including human beings, depend on plants directly or indirectly for food. So we depend on plants directly or indirectly. How? If animal also need plants, no? So if animal will not get plants to eat, so those are flesh eating people or flesh eating animals, they will not get anything, no, because some animals are eating plant, they are herbivorous. So some animals are eating plant, but some animals, that lion and tiger, they are eating deer and all. So deer needs plant, isn't it children? Deer needs plant. So this way we depend on plants directly or indirectly. Lion also depend on plants indirectly. How indirectly? Because lion depend on deer and deer depends on plant. So this way some animals are indirectly dependent on plants and deer is directly dependent on plants. That's why it is said all animals including human beings depend on plants directly or indirectly for food. All plants and animals need warmth to live and grow. We get this warmth from the sun. So, and all plants and animals, even a seed need warmth to grow. Without warmth, seed will not grow. It will not change in plant. So, we get this warmth from the sun. That's why sun is what? Non-living thing. Sun is what? Non-living thing. That's why living things need sunlight. So plants and animals. Under this, we will study about animals depend on plants for food, Animals depend on plants for oxygen. Animals depend on trees for shelter. Then how plants are dependent on animals. Then plant depend on animals for carbon dioxide to make food. Plant depend on animals for pollination and dispersal of seeds. So this topic I am going to explain you one by one. Interdependence between plants and animals means plants and animals depend on each other. As I have told that plant and animals depend on each other in different ways. Okay, so first is animal depend on plants for food. How animals depend on plants for food? Green plants produce their own food. Like green plants produce their food themselves by photosynthesis. Therefore, they are also called producer because green plants are producing their food themselves. So, they are said to be producer. They are making food. The person or the plant, those are making themselves, they are the producers. Okay. Then herbivores eat grass and parts of a green plant. Herbivores are the animals, those are eating green plants or grass. So herbivores eat grass and parts of green plants. Herbivores are eaten up by carnivores, as deer is a herbivorous and lion is the carnivorous. So lion is eaten by lion eats deer. That's why it is written herbivores are eaten up by carnivores. And omnivorous such as human eats plants and flesh of certain animals. Then do you know children omnivorous? What are omnivorous? Animals which are eating both plants and animals. So omnivorous such as some humans are there. Those are eating plant and flesh both. So of certain animals. Thus all animals directly or indirectly depend on green plants for their food. In other words, they consume the food produced by plant. The plants are producer and we are consumer because we are consuming the food. Therefore, animals also called consumers. Is it clear? Now, second point is animal depend on plant for oxygen. Animals depend on plants for oxygen. Plants give out oxygen during the process of photosynthesis. Plants give out oxygen in the process of photosynthesis. Animals use this oxygen for breathing. We also use this oxygen for breathing. Now animals depend on trees for shelter. Some animals such as squirrel, monkeys, birds, they all live on trees. So that is their home. That's why they depend on trees for shelter. Now plants depend on animals for carbon dioxide. Plants. Now we have studied that how we depend on plants. Now plants depend on animals for carbon dioxide. Animals breathe out carbon dioxide. Animals we also breathe out carbon dioxide. Plant use this carbon dioxide to make food. And last is plant depend on animals for pollination and dispersal of seeds. So you know insects such as honeybees, butterflies, ladybird. Okay, these all are insects that visit flower, that sits on flower to collect nectar. While doing so, they carry this pollen grains. No, it stick on their legs. So they carry pollen from the flower to another flower, thus helping plant to make fruit and seeds. So if the what happen that insect sits on one flower and that pollen grains it sticks in their leg, and when insects go to the next flower and it sits on that what happen, that pollen grains transfer from one flower to another flower. Okay, thus helping plants to make fruits and seeds. So this way, when this thing they are doing, when the insects are doing these things or birds are doing this way, these seeds are dispersed from one place to another. So this way plants depend on animal for pollination and dispersal of seeds. Now next we have to study food chain. So here is food chain. You can see here in the picture that wheat, rat, cat. You will be thinking what they are doing. You know that cat eats rat. Rat eats wheat. So this is the food chain. The dependence of animals on plants for food directly or indirectly forms different food chains in nature. A food chain shows who eats whom in the environment. Here you had seen that rat eats wheat and cat eats rat. So how they are dependent, how they are directly or indirectly dependent on each other. Like cat is indirectly dependent on wheat, that is the green plant, and rat is directly dependent on wheat because rat eats wheat only. Okay, so this is the food chain. Our food chain also shows the flow of energy from living thing to another. This way you can understand that also how energy flows from one animal to another animal. Herbivores get their energy food directly from plants. Like rat is herbivorous, it is getting its energy from plant, but cat is carnivorous, so it is getting its energy from rat, but indirectly it is getting energy from that wheat. So this way, and a carnivorous also get energy indirectly from the green plants or from the herbivorous animals. Carnivores get their food from herbivores, so they get their energy indirectly from plants. So this is the cycle, this is the food chain. Now next you have to study scavengers and decomposers. So here is scavengers. Animal eat dead bodies of other animals. Animal eat dead bodies of other animals like hyenas, vultures. These are the animals which are eating dead bodies of other animals. So these type of animals are said to be scavengers. They are called scavengers. Some living things such as bacteria and fungi help in the decay of the remains of dead animals and plant waste. So some living things such as fungi and dead bacteria, they depend on the decay of the remains of dead animals and plant waste. They are called decomposers. Okay, that helps in the decay of remains of dead animals. After the dead that remains, no, so bacteria take place in that. Bacteria take birth in that, and these bacteria depend on the decay of the dead animals. So they are called decomposers. In this process, mineral present in the dead and waste material get mixed in the soil. So that mineral which is present in the decay and dead material, it gets mixed in the soil and enrich it with manure. These minerals are absorbed by plants and used for their life process. And that mineral which is taken by the plants to survive, and it is used for its life process. Okay, plant is using the same mineral. This way whole thing is dependent on each other. That's why it is said that plants and animals are interdependent. Balance in nature. All living and non-living things are important parts of nature. Their interdependence maintain a delicate balance in nature. Damaging any part of nature can disturb this balance and can cause serious harm to living condition on the earth. Every member in a food chain is essential means necessary. If one link is not, food chain is removed, it disturbs the balance. Animal that eat only plants help to keep the plant population under control. Suppose for example, if there are no deer, there will be no food for tigers. Is it clear, children? If deer will not be there, there will be no food for tigers. At the same time, the plant population will increase. On the other hand, if the tiger population reduces, the deer population will increase. As a result, the number of plants will reduce. If plants will not be there, then no deer will be there. If no deer will be there, then what the carnivorous animals will eat. So this way, this balance in nature is controlled. Okay. Now next is causes of imbalance in nature. So the main causes of imbalance in nature are deforestation, forest fires and hunting. What is deforestation? Deforestation disturbs the balance in nature in two ways. Deforestation means cutting of trees, excessive cutting down of trees, and uncontrolled clearing of forest is called deforestation. Okay, some other human activities that affect the balance in nature are hunting of animals and forest fires. So deforestation disturbs the balance in nature in two ways. Plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen during photosynthesis. Thus, they help in adding oxygen to the air and reduce the amount of extra carbon dioxide in it. This ensures a balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Cutting down trees and forests for farming, fuel, factories. People are cutting trees and forest cutting trees and forests for farming, okay, and for the fuel or for making buildings, factories, houses, roads, that increase the amount of carbon dioxide in the air, because if plant will not be there, we will not be able to get oxygen. So nowadays, what, because of the increasing population, people are cutting down the trees and forest to make the houses and factories. So this way, this is the main cause of imbalance in nature. Now second point in that, plant absorb water from the soil. They release it into the air through their leaves as water vapor. Thus water vapor become a part of the water cycle. If we cut down trees, the underground water will not find its way back to the water cycle. Thus plant also maintain the balance of water in nature. Now next is forest fire. Forest fire, what happens, sometimes we read about and see forest fires in the news. Most of the times a forest fire starts because of human activity. Sometimes it happens naturally due to lightning, no. So because of lightning, sometimes forest get in fire, or sometimes a forest fire kills a wide variety of plants and animals. So what happen in forest fire? Wide variety of, mostly different varieties of plants and animals are destroyed, okay. Their habitats, many of the surviving animals died due to the shortage of food, and many of the animals died due to the shortage of food, because plants are not there, so they will not be able to survive. That's why they get died. Hunting, human also hunt animals for their meat and body parts. Deer and birds are hunted for their meat. Tiger are hunted for their hide. Elephants are hunted for their tusk, and they sell that tusk. It is very expensive. So this has resulted in endangering many varieties of animals. Some have even disappeared from the earth. As a result, food chains are disturbed. So these all are the causes of imbalance in nature. Here your lesson is over. Try to do short question answer and question answers given in the book yourself. Afterwards I will give you notes. Okay children, thank you.